Welcome back to DVC Weekly. This is episode 242. My name is Jason Erpelding. I'm the broker of Buy and Sell DVC. I'm here with Scott Ferrioli.
I'm the owner of DVC-Rental.com and BuyandSellDVC.com.
And today is September 24th, 2025. 11th month window is going to be August 24th, 2026. And the 7th month window is going to be April 24th, 2026. We're going to go right into the buy and sell side of things, and really, it's not my favorite subject, but I'm just going to talk about what ifs, I guess. So maybe people don't like what ifs because, but I'm just going to say, you know, I'm sitting here. This is just my opinion, of course. Hindsight's 2020. But just to give you a little recap, you know, DVC started in 1991, 1992, and between 1991 to 2011. Whether you bought from Disney or whether you bought resale, it's the exact same product. So you may think to yourself, if that information is news to you, then, you know, well, everyone would just buy, you know, resale if it's the exact same thing. Well, guess what? Majority of people still bought direct because it's just, you're just, you know, it's a Disney name. Oh, I can save a little bit of money, but I'd just rather buy it direct. So everything was exactly the same. And to me, you know, very few people even knew that resales existed, but there was a resale market. There was fewer resale companies that existed during that time frame than exist now. But then in 2011, and again, to me, I don't think, this is just my opinion, like when Disney creates DVC in 1991, 1992, they don't plan for making these changes in the future. Like, you know, somebody comes along and makes a decision to make these changes. And in March, they made the decision January of 2011. They made a decision and they announced it that anything that closes after March, anything that's under agreement for right of first refusal after March 20th, beginning March 21st, 2011, if you bought Disney resale, you wouldn't have access to the Disney cruises, the Disney collection, which is like, you know, Coronado Springs, and you wouldn't have access to Adventures by Disney, which is like African Safari, things like that. So when the news hit, I will tell you this, you had all sorts of people that never even thought, because again, you're making a decision without knowing information in the future, which is what you always have to do. But in this case, people thought that the resale prices would just drop significantly. So if anyone was on the fence about keeping their membership or selling their membership, when Disney announced this information, they all decided to sell their membership. So you would not believe how many people sold their membership, again, in this 2-month period, because they didn't know what was going to happen. And so that's what happened. All sorts of people sold their membership. And again, now all of a sudden, resale, like more people know about resale because it's like you go on DVCmember.com, you see the information about resale. Like it's just all over. Before it was like no one knew. So then the date passes, March 21st passes. Guess what happened? Nothing happened. Like the resale market, there wasn't even an adjustment because people realized that the 3 things that they took away, people didn't use anyway. I mean, I used to tell people it was like Disney. It was like if you bought a car and they said, well, if you go over here resale and you buy this car, you're not allowed to drive this car backwards across the United States. You're not going to do it anyway. So what does it matter that you can't do that? You know what I mean? So that's the same thing that when they made this change, people said, well, you know, the Disney cruises is a bad use of points. Disney collection, that's not even DVC resorts. That's it. I'm not going to
moderates for more price than the deluxes.
Yeah.
Nobody did that anyway.
And I don't own enough points to go on an African safari. Plus I can book that elsewhere, you know? So people figured out that meant nothing. They weren't going to do those things anyway if they bought direct. So that change really made no significant, it didn't do anything. So then in 2016, Disney made a change. Now this time they learned from their past. They didn't make any announcement. They just said, here, this is the date. It's already happened. There's no advance warning this time because we did it before. And now you weren't able to buy an annual pass. If you bought resale, you weren't be able to buy it. Yeah, you weren't be able to get a discount on the annual pass, or like now you can't. Like if you're a DVC member, you can buy a sorcerer's pass. If you're not a member, you can't even buy it if you don't live in Florida. And so that made so then people had to evaluate, because now there's money involved. Am I going to buy an annual pass? How many people are in my family? So, that was probably, I would say, a wise move on Disney's part, because now they're attaching it to money. So now people have to analyze. So in my opinion, and now, of course, then they made changes after that where you have Riviera, Fort Wilderness, and Disneyland Hotel, where if you buy at one of those resorts resale, you can only stay at those resorts. And to me, I mean, in my opinion, that's just too big of a punishment for someone that buys those resorts direct. Like if you buy Riviera direct and you pay, what is it, $225?
I was just going to ask you what that is, because I saw the really inexpensive Riviera pop up on our site the other day in the 90s, I think. I think I saw one pop up in the 90s the other day. Maybe it's sold already, I don't know, but I saw it, I was like, man, it's like $220, they used it for a year or two, maybe 3, decided it wasn't for them, and because of the new requirements on here, and it dropped it to $90-something on the resale market. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a huge drop.
Yeah. So I don't personally think that's fair, because again, I don't think that these people that are buying have all the information in front of them here. It just creates a snowball effect. Like again, you have a product, someone bought it from Disney Direct. If they want to sell it, they have to take this huge loss. Then they're so now instead of again, before that, if you had someone that was a DVC member, they're telling their friends and family all good things. Like, oh, I bought it. Oh, it's actually worth more. I can do this, this, and this. Well, now they're saying, well, I bought it. I have to sell it for less because the new owner. So I don't think that. So if it was me and you could go back and I would say, if you want to make a change, make the change so that, you can't buy a sorcerer's pass, or you can't get a discount on the annual pass. And Scott was getting the free donuts for those things, so now it's tied to money and it's tied to getting things. Yeah, so then someone has to analyze it. But I don't think that, the Disney cruises, the collection, that I would never have that in there. Because people don't use it anyway. So if they want to use it, let them use it. And I would never punish the people like Riviera, Fort Wilderness, or Disneyland Hotel, because I just think it's too much of a punishment for someone that's buying direct.
Exactly. Who's it hurting? It's hurting the person who bought it directly from Disney, and for whatever reason has to resell it, because they're the ones that can take the huge financial loss on it. So, I mean, you're hurting the people you're trying to protect. You want to protect, your direct members.
Exactly. You want to protect the direct owners.
You're hurting your direct owners. You're not hurting the resale guys. You're hurting the direct owners.
So yeah, that sums it up perfectly. Why are you trying to hurt the people that bought directly from you? Plus, another thing is that keep in mind, really between 91 and I'll say up until 2016, if somebody bought direct, even if they bought direct and they held on to it for 5 years, they were then able to sell it resale for what they paid, and then they could, if they wanted to buy, oh, this resort just opened, let me buy this resort, So you had people that were selling to buy something else, which is good for it's good for you as DVC, because they're even though they're selling it because they want to buy it's like the person that buys a new car every 2 years. That's good for the dealership. The dealership doesn't care that they sold their car to some guy across the street. The dealership's selling them a new car every 2 years.
Yeah, Disney got their money originally, and now who cares where you sell it to? You come back to us again.
Right.
You get them twice. I don't know what the issue would be.
So there was tons of that going on. Now that doesn't really happen anymore, because you can't buy again, like Riviera, you can't buy Riviera and then sell it 5 years later for more than you paid. You're taking a loss. I mean, like the Bay Lake Tower owners, again, that's 2009. Those people paid like $95 a point. And, again, the market was at a peak, in 2022, but still those Bay Lake Tower owners now, even if they bought direct, they can still sell for, say 135, 140 a point. Yeah. So, I mean,
16 years of vacation and then sell it for a nice, 30% profit or so.
So if you're Disney, you should want that to continue to happen, for the rest of your membership. But now, because of those changes they made with the newest resorts, they don't get that effect. So if that's my opinion on what I would do differently. And of course, I would love to hear everybody's opinion, because again, this isn't like Disney began DVC back in the 90s with all these plans in place. No, they just, someone had to make a decision at these times. So it's not like that person always makes the best decision. So what decisions would you make? I'd love to hear them. And now we're on to the food review of the week.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
For today's food review, we are going to our good friend Debbie Allen, who is the foodie of the group. And if you saw the picture of what's up there, it's absolutely amazing. She tried the Bacon-Pecan-Caramel cinnamon roll, which looks absolutely amazing. I'm just gonna read what she wrote for us here. She wrote, "Wow, where do I start with this? This just may be my new favorite treat at Disney," which is saying something because she eats a lot while she does. She tries a ton of different foods for us. She says this may be her new favorite treat at Disney. The Mickey-shaped Bacon-Pecan-Caramel cinnamon roll is a new item that recently appeared this summer at Westward Ho Refreshments, located in Frontierland at Magic Kingdom. Priced at $8.49, it is currently only being served at breakfast between the hours of 9:30 and 11 a.m. First of all, the toppings are heaping on this and very plentiful. The bacon is made from a thick cut and candied. It was from a thick cut slice and candied, while the chopped pecans give it a nice nutty crunch. The caramel binds the bacon and pecans together, and the combination of the three is out of this world. It was served warm, and as pretty as it looked, I was still apprehensive about how the actual cinnamon roll would taste underneath all of the toppings. Well, it was an oh my goodness good. The cinnamon roll was flaky, soft, and just loaded with tons of cinnamon filling. I also need to add that there is a huge serving size, definitely shareable. In fact, as I was eating it, a certain country bear came up to me and wanted it too. And Debbie posted a reel on it on our Facebook page a while ago. She said she gives this one a 9.1. So nice. She really loved this. I mean, based on the picture of it, I know you're not seeing the picture of it right now. It looks absolutely phenomenal.
Nice.
I can't wait to try it at some point.
And now we're on to the DVC-rental side of things.
So I've got a longer one here. I mean, I'll try to cut it down a little bit because we're in the holiday season. I wanted to compare Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, and SeaWorld's Howl-0-Scream. So I'm going to go through just a comparison of the three. With Disney's Not So Scary Halloween Party, atmosphere and theme, it's mostly family-friendly. It's the most family-friendly by far of the three. It's designed to be spooky and fun, not generally frightening. Theme is centered around classic Disney characters, villains, and a whimsical take on Halloween. Target audience is families with young children who prefer a little lighthearted festival atmosphere over scares. Costumes are encouraged for everyone. Under the attractions, the main draw is the Boo-Too Halloween Parade, Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular Stage Show, and Disney's Not So Spectacular Fireworks Show. A lot of the rides are going to remain open, and a few are going to have special Halloween overlays on them, like Space Mountain, which goes completely dark and has a spooky soundtrack. Trick-or-treating is also set up through the park. Now, in comparison over at Universal, for their Halloween Horror Nights, it's the most intense and high-budget horror event out of the three. It's designed to be terrifying and not recommended for children under 13. Themes are often based on well-known intellectual properties like horror movies, TV shows, as well as original concepts. Target audience is mature audience, horror enthusiasts, and thrill seekers. Atmosphere is loud, crowded, and designed to maximize scares. Attractions, The main thing is the haunted houses that they have. It's the centerpiece of the event. Highly detailed, movie quality walkthroughs with sets, lighting, sound effects, and live scare actors who are trying to scare you. They've got special scare zones, which the park's pathways are transformed into theme zones where the scare actors roam freely, often using props like chainsaws to frighten guests. Live shows, they've got 2 or more stage shows typically offered, often with a mix of stunts, comedy, and horror. Rides, a selection of the major rides like Revenge of the Mummy, Harry Potter, and Escape from Gringotts remain open. Now at SeaWorld's Howl-0-Scream, it's a mix between the two, offering genuine scares, but with a more raw, intimate feel. It is lower budget than Halloween Horror Nights, but often compensates with more in-your-face and interactive scares. Target audience, they say, are really adults and teens who enjoy being scared. It's a good alternative for those who find Universal's crowds overwhelming or want a slightly different horror experience. My son is going to be doing Halloween Horror Nights for the first time this year with his girlfriend and some friends. He's looking forward to it. He's not a horror guy, though, so he's probably get scared out of his mind.
This is your youngest?
This is my oldest. Still, he's going to be scared, I'm sure. I would be, too. I've never actually gone to this.
You never gone to Halloween Horror Nights?
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, for the attractions, they've got haunted houses as well. The collection of haunted houses with original themes that focus on getting up close and personal with the scare actors. Scare zones, it says these zones are often praised for being more interactive with actors engaging in horror banter and getting very close to guests. Thrill rides, unique selling points at SeaWorld keeps many of its major roller coasters and thrill rides open after dark, more than, I guess, Disney or more than Universal does, including Mako and Icebreaker, which adds a different type of thrill to the night. And what's also nice to know is that this event also features themed bars and live shows. So 3 different types of options to choose from. I've done, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, I believe, twice so far. I would like to do Halloween Horror Nights at some point.
I think you're going to find that one annoying.
It seems a little loud and crazy.
I mean, you got kids. You're going to have kids coming up to you with chainsaws in your face.
Yeah, it's a little different. For the first time in years, we have SeaWorld passes, annual passes now. So maybe I'll check out their Howl-0-Scream. It's just somewhere in between the two, less crazy than Universal, but not as childish as Disney. So maybe Howl-0-Scream is that option. I don't know the numbers offhand, but I'm also guessing that Howl-0-Scream is probably the least expensive of them by far, if I had to guess.
I mean, I've been to SeaWorld like when my kids were like, say, 6 and 8, and you're going through collecting candy.
I did that too. That was free.
Yeah.
That's what's great for free. For Disney, you had to pay for everything. If you had a regular SeaWorld ticket, you could just go around and trick or treat for free, no extra price at all. So
that was the best.
Does SeaWorld still do that?
I have no idea.
But they used to do that for free. I always thought that was really, really cool, SeaWorld. Truthfully, it was like non-named candy, though, like non-named brand. It was like some weird stuff. But I was like, heck, you can walk around and just get free candy without paying an extra dime. SeaWorld did a great job with that.
And Universal, again, I did Halloween Horror Nights probably in the 90s, and it was too annoying for me.
Mayhem.
Yeah. Plus you also have your collection of high school kids that are trying to, I don't know what the right word to say is. They're trying to like cause extra problems with guests as well. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to.
Yeah.
So it's like, your son though, he's a senior. I mean, that's like the perfect, age to be in there because you have a bunch of high school kids messing around with other high school kids.
Yeah, he's not like that though. So I'm like, I don't know if I have to imagine he's not gonna like it so much. He's quiet and reserved, and he's going with his girlfriend, like another couple or a couple people, I think. But like, he's not rowdy, and he's not a horror guy, and he's not into that type of stuff at all. So. We'll have to see how he does with this.
Yeah, see what kind of grade he gives it. What are the hours on that? Like, it's like 2 a.m. or?
Halloween Horror Nights is open till 2 a.m. I know that. Because he made that comment that, it's 2 a.m. I'm like, that's past your curfew. He's like, well, I'm paying for this. I have to take advantage of it. I'm like, I never say anything about this. Since when does your curfew get to bend? So, again, it's coming up. I'm not sure how we're going to handle it. I'll probably let him stay out a little bit longer than normal, but I don't know if I'm going to want him staying there to close the place. But like, listen, we're being generous here. You don't have to be the last guy in the park, and you leave earlier.
All right. Well, that's good info, and hopefully our audience, everyone in our audience will, different section decide which one's best for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really great to have 3 different options that are, definitely distinguishable. They're definitely different. That if you You want something light, you've got it. You want something intense, you've got it. You know, you've got the whole spectrum there, and you can choose something in the middle as well. So
Definitely.
something for everybody.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for watching.